let's move on tonight to a great play I saw in college football that I wanted to highlight, and I'm calling this Memphis Madness. And this is a punt return touchdown by the punt returner of University of Memphis football, where he just caught the other team sleeping. So I just quickly want to go over some rules here to show you when producer Ben finds the clip, if he finds it. When you punt the ball, okay, it's got to be possessed by the downing team, okay? You can't just touch it. This downing team, okay, just touched the ball and then walked away. The officials did a great job of not blowing the play dead and let it continue on. And the smart heads up of the University of Memphis player, he saw that they just touched it, did not possess the ball. He went over immediately, scooped up the ball, possessed it, and then returned it about 70 or 80 yards for a touchdown. So it was an amazing heads-up play by a college player, and just a wacky one, to be honest, in college football.
I mean, definitely a heads-up play. As Patriots fans, we've always heard Bill Belichick and Patriots players talk about situation ball, knowing the rules, knowing, what's involved, what your responsibility is, do your job. And the returner for Memphis clearly knew. And, even I was like watching, didn't they just down it? Didn't they just put their hand on top of the football? But they didn't possess it, like you said. So, just the rules, it changes the game-changing. And just a heads-up play by the Memphis returner. And, just he knew what he was doing. He knew his role. And I think the returner also kind of saw the punting team too, everybody kind of slow up, not just the gunners who were the first players down there to try to make the tackle or make the play or save the ball, but the entire punt team just seemed to kind of slow up. Some of them started to walk off the field.
Yep.
So he just picked it up, had a lane down the right sideline, and just took it the distance. So again, knowing the rules, knowing the situation, knowing what opportunity was there for you was more important than even if he was fast or if he was a good returner or if he had good hands or anything like that. And that's just a gutsy play and a headsy play by the returner there from Memphis.
Yeah, just a complete heads-up play by the return man. And we just talked about it last week about how we know at Alabama, their practices are intense. They're covering a lot. If you make a mistake, they're ripping into you and making sure you know your job going into the game. I honestly have to think it's the same way at the University of Memphis, because this kid was all over it, had the heads-up play and the knowledge to know, hey, that wasn't possessed. The ball's still live. I've got a chance to go make a big play, get my team to, back in the game or ahead in the game, and that's exactly what he did. And I've got to give his teammates some credit, too. They knew what was up. They even threw a couple of blocks for him there down the stretch there that got him into the end zone once the opposing team realized that they had made a huge mistake. And it was really a mental letdown. And like we just said right there, all the player had to do was grab the ball and just hold on to it for 1 second. They would have blown the play dead. It would have been possession. All he did was just touch it for a mere second, and that is not considered possession in the game of football. The return man knew it. He was watching for it, pounced on the opportunity, ran the play back. One of the best plays I've seen, one of the most heads-up plays I've seen in college football over the last few years, and I enjoyed watching it. And honestly, I think this is great for the University of Memphis, a team that probably doesn't get much credit for their football team, more of a basketball school. So to have their football team get, some highlights here with this return and to get some coverage from the media, I think it's great for recruiting. And it's great for this player here. If I'm him, my draft stock has gone up, and I'm even telling people that right now, being like, I'm such a heads-up player, and then you saw what I can do when I get the ball. So I think this is great for the University of Memphis and definitely great for that heads-up player on their team.
Yeah, no question. And that player is going to have, if they do go to the draft and you're watching ESPN and they're showing highlights, that's going to be the first highlight. They're just going to show that one right away. No matter what that player does for the rest of his college career, if he's an NFL prospect, it's going to be the first highlight that everybody's going to go to. So good for that guy. That's pretty cool. Folks, if you like this show, you're watching it right now on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube page. That's Comeback Sports on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel, Comeback Sports. And then all the cut-ups that our awesome producer, Ben Kudo, puts together after the show, that'll all filter to your YouTube channel. You don't have to go search for it. It's just right there in your subscriptions.